This is Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. We had to come crashing through the back door just to be able to broadcast live on our very own page. We basically hacked the matrix here, folks. You don't understand how bad the censorship is. We're being shut down everywhere. Everywhere. We try to go somewhere and broadcast live. The New World Order comes in and stomps us out. And we are getting reports from all sorts of stations that they're being harassed, censored. It's for real, folks. There's a purge going on. We want to let everybody know. We just talked to Richie from Boston. He's like, my channel's going down. They just sent me 2 strikes. That's how it happens. Just like boom, 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 bitches. And so you need to appreciate these types of pages. Bookmark our new website, which is STFNreport.com. If you look at the Facebook feed, there's tons of stuff there. That's going to be the new tip of the spear, STFNreport.com. And we'll figure something out. It looks like we figured out a way to bypass the censorship for the time being on this main page, but we can't upload videos completely. We can't broadcast live from our accounts. We basically had to FTP, double hack, smack a smack, and a double smack to get back onto this show. So, they tried to lock us out of our very own show, folks. And the censorship won't stop here. They're following us everywhere. Daily Motion, Twitch. I don't know how many people were listening to the Twitch broadcast. They shut that shit down. Everything is getting shut down. They don't want Stranger Than Fiction News on the air because we might offend some Antifa meth heads out there who are up late at night dreaming of how they can be a transhuman libtard for the rest of their lives. Listen, folks, it's either going to be us or them. Are you going to let those people shut us down? Are you going to let those people silence this show that you love? I know you love it. We get the messages. We get the messages. You're not alone. Many people love this show. They don't want it to see, they don't want to see it go. But we're trying to find a stable platform where we can actually express ourselves freely in the United States of America. We're not even in North Korea. We're not even in the USSR. We're in America, and we can't even broadcast on social media because they got us so locked down by this beast system that wants to penetrate like the deep state. You better get the Astroglide out there, ladies and gentlemen. Are you hearing me? Get the Astroglide because we're all getting penetrated, deep state penetrated through the censorship, and it's just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Something is in the works. Have no doubt about it. And we can't even cover the news on a news channel in America because otherwise you get banned, shut down. The advertisers run away because they're afraid of New Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah. And, obviously just speaking in biblical terms offends the militant, atheist, Luciferian devil worshippers out there. Oh, well, we're so fucking sorry that their feelings are hurt. What about when they're pushing these transgender bathrooms down our throats and going to the elementary schools, sexualizing the children? Don't we have a right to be offended too? I bet if our channel was talking like, some of these NBC libtards, Kathy Griffith, Oswald kind of speech, I bet we'd be number one. We'd have 10 million views a day on the live stream. The money would be flowing in. Everything would be awesome. If we sold out like the rest of those shills, do you think we'd be going through this censorship? Do you think Occupy Democrats is going through this bullshit? Folks, are you feeling me? Bookmark our new website, STFNreport.com, before it's too late. They're trying to take this channel down. They took down the YouTube. They're trying to take down this Facebook, which has got the 700 and some thousand followers, folks. They want to silence your voice. They want to erase all of your comments. And they won't even send you a notification that they've done so. They're just going to hope that you think about something else. Because obviously if they sent you a notification, we just shit-canned STFN because they're spreading the truth, you might fucking object to that, wouldn't you? So they're not going to send you the notification. We're trying to notify you. They are trying to fuck us over, all of us, folks. So, let YouTube know, let Facebook know. Freedom of speech still matters in America. They might want to take your free speech. They might want to take your privacy. They might want to take your guns. They might want to rape the Constitution. And they will if you let them, because silence is consent. Do you hear me out there? Fucking like and share. Share it into some groups. And when you're not busy sharing, you should be mirroring this content and mirroring all the other truth or content that's out there, because it's going down. We need blockchain democracy, blockchain journalism. Are you hearing me? Don't let this shit happen without a fight. If you don't fight for your rights, you're going to lose it. You understand me? If you don't fight for your rights, you're going to lose it. We had to hack into this channel just to broadcast here, folks. You can't imagine how many technicians and engineers from around the world we got working on this situation. We're going to bring a couple of them in onto the show just to kind of let them give you a taste of what they're feeling over there. But everybody's getting locked down. Everybody's getting shut down, censored. It's unbelievable. And and this should be the #1 story on New York Times. This should be the #1 story on the Washington Post. Free speech is dead in America. It's fucking dead. And Google killed it. Facebook killed it. Do you understand that? The beast system is killing the Constitution. And you know what? And it's a sad fucking day when more people aren't upset about losing their fundamental rights in this country. Oh, free speech, I don't give a shit. I got all the TVs listening to me. Oh, privacy, I don't give a shit. Let them take my information. Let them use it. Have you noticed that when you're talking about something around your phone, all of a sudden you get like the ads on Facebook? Have you noticed that they're giving you the ads? They're listening to you. They're tracking you, everywhere you go. And just wait until they roll out the Terminators. Just wait until they roll out the Skynet. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a massacre. Just look at the chemtrails, the GMOs, the fluoride, the vaccines. Look at the Georgia Guidestones. They're rolling it out. They're making it worse. And now they don't want people talking about, the chemtrail flu. They don't want people talking about the symptoms that they're having, communicating, being organized about the extermination. They don't want a resistance. They want, they just want to roll out their fucking plans without any problems. That's what you would do if you're a Dr. Evil. Anybody play chess out there? They're setting up the pieces just before checkmate. That's what they're doing, folks. Now, I'm going to bring in a couple of guests. We're going to try, let's see, guest number 1. Do we got creepers on the line? Got creepers on the line? Creep hunters? Creep hunters might be coming back. How about Rubber T? Rubber T, we got Rubber T on the line? Anybody out there? I'm all by myself. They fucking bailed, dude.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm here, Rom.
All right. Rubber T, what's going on? What are you hearing out there on the street? Is there some censorship, or is it my imagination?
No, there is censorship going around all over the place. It's not just you. There's big time pages seeing like InfoWars. They've been seeing a lot of censorship, which should be expected. But this is getting out of control at this point, and this is a violation of our First Amendment rights. And how are people not standing up for this like on a massive level is unbelievable. I can't understand why, but basically we're the ones that are going to have to, take it upon ourselves to get this done, because we can't let this happen in our country. This is our fucking country.
How are we going to get it done? What do we got to do? What's it going to take for them to let us have our freedom of speech? What do we have?
My idea is get people just start live broadcasting the same kind of show, start downloading videos, and just start live broadcasting this information so it's getting out there, because that's what they're really trying to suppress is the truth.
I'm seeing a lot of success. I'm seeing a lot of success of people that are just, jumping on the camera and going, listen, this shit's fucked up. And it just goes viral because people know. And so you got to be part of that blockchain. Let it roll. Keep it coming.
Especially when you're showing them like visually like stuff coming from the mainstream media's own sources, you're showing them as you're telling them what's going on. Like that's huge. That I feel like is a major key in unlocking people's minds.
That's what hurts the most, is when you're actually showing mainstream media articles or mainstream media videos, of the MTV Awards, the BET Awards, or the movies or whatever. You're actually showing what they're doing, and they can't take it. They can't take. That's it. You've hit the nail on the head.
You're connecting the dots visually for people. That's how I see it. Like, that's how it works for me. I see those things and I start connecting dots, and it puts things together more easily when you just see it in front of you.
Absolutely. I mean, and so everybody's got to keep sharing stuff, but sharing pages, sharing groups, start a page. If everybody out there, imagine like the 50 million conservatives that are in our country. If each one of them reached out to 100 new people a day through social media, which is easy, we'd be reaching like, what would it be, like 5 billion people a day? So that's how we got to do it, is through blockchain. They can't silence us all, but they can silence, say like 100 or 1,000 independent media websites. Everybody's got a mirror. Everybody's got to broadcast. Everybody's got to do something to basically circumvent this harassment and censorship. And we had to go through, I can't even tell you how much bullshit the past 2, 3, 4 days just to be able to broadcast live. Unbelievable. And it's across the board. It's not just Facebook. It's not just YouTube. It's on Twitch, which is Amazon. It's on Daily Motion, which I don't even know who owns that shit. And it's just like we're shopping around for other things. But now we found a way to kind of go through the back door until they figure this out. They flip out, and they're going to probably shut this page down. That's why you got to bookmark STFNreport.com, because if this page goes dark, that's the only real estate that we own. That's the only place where we can't be censored, is right there on that page. And we'll always find a way to put out videos and links and information through that page so that we can find another place to kind of gather and organize for all the people that like this show and understand, what we're looking at here, which is the epic struggle of good versus evil. I mean, why do you think there's like shows like Lucifer on television? Why do you think they're pushing the Sodom and Gomorrah agenda down your throat and making you accept it? It's epic good versus evil. And it's for this very same reason that they're poisoning the food, the air, and the water, because evil is as evil does. This is a bunch of Charlie Manson groupies that are in it together, plotting your demise. You can quote me on that. Have no doubt about it. Anyways, Rubber T, I mean, tell us what's in the news. Tell us something. Keep us going. I'm actually going to pass the mic to you. Tell us about your channel that's coming up. We're hopefully going to get you on as a regular contributor to the show because you're sharp as a tack. And so I'm gonna give you the microphone for like 10 minutes. Just let it rip. You think you can handle that until we get Creepers? I don't know what Creep Hunters is doing, but he's gonna.
Yeah, I'll keep it going here. Might go in a few different directions, but
go for it, man. And tell them about your upcoming show. All right.
Well, yeah, I'll start off with that. First off, I started a page called "We're Being Ruled by a Cult of Death," because I mean it's blatantly obvious at this point. I mean, come on, but. I just started kind of just uploading some cool videos that I've seen, like the Terminators, Boston Dynamics Terminators coming in. I've been uploading, stuff like that, but I am going to be starting live broadcasting on there most likely tomorrow, unless we're going to do a show or whatever. I'll be doing a live broadcast here tomorrow and the next few days for sure, but basically for me, I can't sit back and be a consumer of this information anymore. I have to take it upon myself to get this message out there, seeing all this censorship coming through, because I mean, years of research, like just deep research into this constantly, every single day of my life, just looking into this stuff, it becomes more painfully obvious, and it's getting to the point where I'm not going to stand for it. I'm a veteran. I took an oath to the Constitution, and I'm gonna stand by that. And like with everything they're doing to us, the fluoride in the water. I mean, that's just one. I mean, locally around here, we got 3M, just huge lawsuit settled for stuff that they were dumping in the water. We're known for poor water in my town, so what do you do in that case? You got to get a water filter, one that filters everything out, the fluoride, all the pesticides and everything that everyone's spraying on the water, all the prescription drugs that runs off into into the sewers. You know, like you guys have to be, and girls, you guys have to be protecting yourself against this, because to me, the way I see it is that's what they're using to dumb people down. Like, they put it in the concentration camp water for a reason, like, and they're using it against us now. Like, you have to be taking action to get outside of their beast system. Like, you have to do it. Like, the time is now, you know? Like, we got Trump in there, things are looking all right, but it's, we still have plenty of work to do here. I mean, they're still spraying the chemtrails. I mean, we still have GMO food, you know, the organic food coming at you in the grocery store, but it's probably being sprayed with frack water, you know? I mean, we have to stand up, especially when they're trying to silence us right now. Like, it's even more crucial to get up off your ass and do something, you know? Like, whether you're reaching out to people around you, like your friends, family. I mean, I'm constantly getting this message out to everyone around me, because I mean, we have to do something. You know, we need to get people to wake up. Some people might resist it, and they're probably too far gone, which is sad. But I mean, that's the reality of it nowadays. I mean, there's so much propaganda and bullshit out there. Who knows what to believe, you know, unless you have common sense, logic, and reasoning to sit there and dig through everything and discern what is bullshit and what is truth. You know, like, it can be done. It just, you need to take the time, you know, turn off the Netflix, turn off the video games every once in a while. I love all that stuff too, but I mean, sometimes we need to turn it off and dig into some deep research so we can start arming ourselves with the truth to use it against these people in the Alex Jones world as the info war. We need to start using this info war now before it's too late. You know, like, I mean, the time's coming. You know, Ron always hits on the jobs, like 85% of jobs going to automation in 7 years. You know,
I mean, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Rubber T. And I just wanted to jump in and say that, I mean, you're a success story in the sense that, you know, people around you, they weren't awake. You kept hitting them, and and that's what everybody's got to do. And I want everybody to fucking like and share. I can see that there's 300 people watching this, and on my side, it only shows 20 people have shared. So you can't be fucking serious coming on this show and being a fan of this broadcast, and only 20 people are sharing. I think either I better see 300 fucking shares on this thing in about like 2 minutes, or, you know, seriously, we are going to have to be thinking about what this Titanic is, where this Titanic is going, because it looks like it's fucking sinking and nobody gives a shit. So I want to see some shares. You take a second to like and share, put it in some groups, because this censorship is massive and people need to know. This should be the number one news story from coast to coast. We've got massive censorship. We've got, basically a blatant violation of the First Amendment rights. You can't speak your mind. You can't talk about the news. You can't report the news. You can't even show the videos of the situation on the ground. You can't show the crisis actors. You can't show, the documents that are basically inconvenient to the, to the New World Order. So, I mean, this is what it's come down to. Listen, if we were a libtard channel, and talking about like everybody, like all of the other Antifa members out there, we wouldn't be going through the censorship. And the only reason that we are going through the censorship is because not enough people are standing up and speaking up about it. Now, we got a lot of messages saying, oh, we saw your YouTube, man, that fucking sucks, and so on and so forth. We got quite a few letters. But listen, there's 750,000 people that follow this channel. And we probably only got about like maybe a couple hundred messages, saying, dude, what happened to your channel? You got shut down, this and that. There needs to be like more, activism from the crowd, because otherwise,
fucking live right now.
That's right. I mean, you can't even imagine what we had to go through to come in live. We had to crash through the back door. We brought in like technical experts. We've got this stuff beaming around. I don't even know how many points to get in. So that people can watch this broadcast. We're being shut down everywhere we go. The YouTube's gone. This channel is basically impossible to live stream through, the old-fashioned way, through the administrator accounts. We had to basically, we tried Twitch, that's gone. Daily Motion, that won't fucking work. So listen, this is the only place that we can live stream right now. People need to understand that the censorship is serious. Richie from Boston just sent us a message. He just got 2 strikes after basically talking about us getting taken out. And so you see how this is growing. Anybody that's going to step up, they're going to start feeling a little bit of censorship. And that's going to make you want to auto-censor. That's going to make you want to give up your First Amendment rights because you don't want to be put on the red list. Let me tell you something. The moment you stepped on a website like InfoWars, you were on that red list. It's too fucking late. You've been drafted into this war. Now you're either going to be a victim or a survivor. That's a choice you're going to have to make. Take a second to like and share. Seriously, if I don't see 300 shares here the next time I refresh this page, knowing that there's 300 people watching this thing, I'm going to think you guys are all just fucking pulling my chain. You're watching this for kicks. You don't think the chemtrails are real. You don't think the fluoride is real. You don't think the Gladio B events are real. You think that the skull and bones is just my imagination and that I'm just pulling your leg. You think I'm pulling your leg? Just wait until they roll out the Skynet. You'll be remembering this broadcast. You'll remember that you had a fucking chance and you did nothing. You didn't even fucking like and share. And if you don't want to share on your page, go share on a group. But I want to see 300 shares the next time I refresh this. There was only 20 shares. We've been shut down for like a week. We've been, posting like, listen, we can't get online. We were put in Facebook prison over some bullshit. They took out our YouTube channel, and we finally come crashing through the door. And there's 20 shares. There's 30 likes. What the fuck is that? Are you on the right channel? Maybe you should go back to NBC. Maybe you should go listen to Rachel Madcow and talk about like the libtard stuff. How killing babies is awesome. How we should dilute the American population. How we should let in the foreigners and just say fuck it, man. Let Mexico take over. Let the Haitians take over. It's so wonderful over there. Let them bring their prosperity and ideas to our country. Yeah, dude, go ahead. I don't care. Seriously, I'm already set up. Most of us that the preppers are, we see this shit coming. So I mean, if it all goes down ugly, we're ready for that. But it'd be nice to not go down that road. It'd be much nicer just to have it be like it was in the 90s. And the only way we're going to get that back, that pre 9/11 world back, is by exposing, the New World Order for what it is. Exposing the false flags, exposing the Gladio B event, talking about 9/11, talking about Building 7, talking about the Skynet. That's what we need to do. Take a moment to like and share for your freedom, for your constitutional rights, for your country. And bookmark our website, stfnreport.com, because when our channel goes down, which it most certainly will, when this channel goes down, when it goes black, you won't get a notification. They won't tell you that they censored you. I don't know how many people noticed the past 3 weeks when we were broadcasting live. They would take down show after show, and people would go back. People would go back, and they'd be like, they'd get a screenshot. We posted a copy of this screenshot. They would get a screenshot that says, you are no longer in the group. You can't access this video. When they actually fucking pulled it down. It's a whole new way of shadow banning. It's like the ultimate psyop. They take down the shit. And then they blame us for it and saying you're no longer part of the group. Obviously, you're part of the group if you're seeing this message, but just go ahead and check out, it's probably like yesterday's post, or no, it was just before they threw us in Facebook prison. And that was funny too, because we tagged Facebook into it. And then as soon as that happened, they shut us down. It's like, oh yeah, you're trying to make us look bad. Well, if they weren't censoring our free speech, we never would have brought them into the conversation. But they interjected themselves into the conversation by attempting to censor free speech. I'll tell you what, there's a whole lot of other countries where, they're truly putting out hate shit on their channels, and they don't even censor that free speech, because that's what free speech is about. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You can just turn the channel and go some other place. But, you can see this, this screenshot for yourself. Sorry, the content isn't available. It may, listen to how they word it. The link you followed may have expired. It may have expired. It may not have expired. In fact, it didn't expire. They fucking pulled it. And then they say, or the page may only be visible to an audience you're not in. You're not in that audience. It may be that way. See, they're pushing a conspiracy theory in their fucking 404 error message. It may have, it may have just expired. No, they fucking censored it. You may not be allowed to watch it because you're not in the audience when you've subscribed. Of course you're part of the audience. Of course, you subscribe. Now, you should just see the comments. They go, okay, here's this guy. This is what I get when I share the truth. It's like, add in, type in an extra code. I saved some stuff from earlier. Facebook started okay, hold on. I tried sharing some of your stuff. Facebook logged me out. Excuse me. And I had to re-log in. Let's hear some more testimonials from happy customers. Not surprising, the Bible says in the end Christians will be hated. Yeah, that's pretty much it, folks. Remember, Google sends all of its money to 666 Bermuda. Let's see. The censorship is out of control. Why are they trying to silence you? Interesting. No shit. Connect the dots. Facebook has even removed them from my notifications, another user says. And this is the kind of stuff they would love to delete. Trust me. Let's see. What else do we got here? Start using Telegram. Maybe we should look into that. I know we got old ladies, nice little old ladies, writing us saying their comment, their stuff has been revoked by Facebook. Little old ladies. What could they possibly say that would be offensive? Really, a little old lady. I mean, seriously. And she's like, "No, I was trying to talk." I forget if it was the GMOs or the chemtrails. They took her shit down too. Listen, folks. When a little old lady is writing me saying, "Yeah, they took my shit down too," listen. I mean, what does that tell you? I got people in high school telling me, "Oh, they were crying after they saw the YouTube go down." What kind of people would make little girls cry? Fucking YouTube, fucking Facebook. That's the kind of people that would make little girl cry by taking people's stuff down like that. Happening in my hometown, not on the news. Let's see what else we got. YouTube channel taken down as well. Yeah, we know that. Let's see. I had to refollow and resubscribe yesterday. I can't tell you how many people have written us about that, where they've subscribed and followed, and then all of a sudden they come back and they're not subscribed, they're not followed. It's not just a one-time deal. There's tons of people that's happening to. Tons of people telling us that they put us see first. They come back and we're no longer see first. It's obvious that people, in the back end of Facebook are fucking with our channel on purpose because they're Antifa libtards. Okay? The truth hurts. I know it hurts. But you know what they call us behind our backs is probably 10 times worse. They call us Hitlers and Nazis and all of that shit. But there's an old Goebbels propaganda saying that call the opposition what you are, and that way they can't call you out for what you actually are. You know what I mean? So they'll call you a Nazi, but they're the fucking Nazis because they're like the brown shirts out there beating up Trump supporters, calling them, deplorable. And then they're going out to churches, congressional baseball games. They're trying to kill people. They are killing people. I mean, there's just, hate attack after hate attack. If there's hate speech out there on the internet, it's coming from the far left. Just look at the Kathy Griffith video where she's got the bloody head, thing going on. Or the other, I can't even tell you how many videos are out there where it's just like that. They're like, kill them, take them out, kill all white men, kill all, this and that. I mean, seriously, that's coming from the far left. We've become the most hated demographic in the country. For what reason? Because the North fought slavery and how many, hundreds of thousands of people died, white people died to free the slaves. We're so fucking racist. The racist shit is from down south. Don't confuse the two. But in any case, we've got tons of comments coming in. The censorship is real. Richie from Boston just wrote us. He got 2 strikes. He knows his channel is going down again. Again. What does Richie from Boston put out there? There's no hate speech there. What it is, it's Christian speech. So if we talk about what's in the Bible, then all of a sudden that becomes hate speech. How is that hate speech? We need to stand up for our morals and for our values, or it will be taken away from us. They're doing everything they can to strip it from us, whether it be in the schools through the indoctrination, through the television, through the programming, through the music, through the spell casting. They are doing everything they can to yank you, to basically make you a militant atheist and a Luciferian. And they don't want any opposition to that. They are trying, they're trying to take it all. And either we're going to stand up for it or we're going to lose it. That's a choice you have to make. What do you think, Rubber T? I mean, is that something that you want done? Do you want to see your country become a hell on earth?
Oh, and I'm not going to allow it. And like you said, like the hate and all the intolerance and all the bullying is coming from the left. It's not hard to see, and we're sick of it. And, enough is enough, and we're not backing down anymore. We're not going to let them control the narrative anymore. Their narrative is controlled by a few elite people. We're sick of that. We know what's going on, and we're not standing up for that anymore. We're not backing down, and we're gonna start coming after, not violently, but with information. We're gonna start using your tools against you, and that's what it's all about. Our ideas aren't gonna be silenced because our ideas are the truth.
Absolutely.
We're not going anywhere.
We can't afford to remain silent, folks, because let me tell you, if all the independent news outlets go down, what are you left with? You're left with, NBC, CNN, you got some BuzzFeed, you got, Democracy Now!, the Young Turks, take your pick. Listen, it's just going to be nothing but leftist media. It's going to be an echo chamber for the dark side. And we just can't afford, that to happen, because you'd be surprised how influential the social media is these days. 85% of people get their news from social media. It's the new frontier, and they basically want to monopolize it like they've monopolized everything else. Listen, folks, as a regular person, you can't go out there and compete with big business. You can't compete with Amazon. You can't compete with Walmart. You can't compete with Microsoft or Google or Apple or any of these companies. You can't do it. And so they've taken over the whole market. You've seen year after year, like the top 1% takes home 85% of the wealth. We're left with crumbs, and it's only going to get worse. It's going to become like Elysium. It's going to become like Soylent Green. And pay attention to the automation. Pay attention how they're going to replace all the jobs with robots, and you're going to be left out in the cold. Pay attention to that, because that's coming. And once that happens, you're going to have like no income. You're going to have nothing to do all day. It's going to be a nightmare, and you're going to become more than expendable. All the farms are going to be automated. Industry is going to be automated. It's called the industrial Internet of Things. Everything is going to be automated. Your McDonald's, everything you do, you call in to, for some customer service. You're just going to be talking to a chat bot. Everything is going to be automated. There's going to be no jobs left, and it's going to become like Soylent Green. People are going to be so desperate, waiting for their Soylent Green on Tuesday. And when it doesn't come, they're going to be looking to go to the reprocessing center. It's going to look just like that. So everybody's got to really, keep doing what you're doing, but a little bit more. Because I'm telling you, the censorship is real. They're trying to shut us down, and they won't send you a notification. They won't send you a notification that they've shut down these channels. They've taken down, I don't know how many. We covered that yesterday with the SGT report. He was kind enough to have us on his show. And it allowed us to reach like 50,000 people that didn't know about it. Richie from Boston did the same thing, and now all of a sudden they just threw him 2 strikes. So I'm gonna keep track of SGT and see what happens to his channel. But I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden they throw him strikes. And what they do is they go through all of your old videos and they just find something that just might be offensive or misconstrued to a libtard. And they flag it and they say, this violates our community standards. Well, what community are you from exactly? Well, they're from Sodom and Gomorrah. So obviously, to them, to the anti-Christians, the lies are the truth. Murder is good. Stealing is good. That's their world. So obviously, what we're talking about is offensive to them, and that's their community standards. So They just take channels down and they claim community standards, but they don't really define what their community standards are, because they don't want people to be complaining about it. But if you pay attention to the details, if you connect the dots, what's the problem with these channels that are being taken down? They're talking about the truth. They're talking about the tyranny. They're talking about the corruption. They're talking about the Luciferian agenda. And that's what they don't want to see. And that's the problem, folks. And so we just gotta, keep it real and keep talking about this issue. This should be the number one topic in the country right now. First Amendment rights completely raped and violated by social media giants. That should be headline number one. Headline number two should be, the Fourth Amendment is now null and void. You can't even imagine what they're doing with your data. You have no privacy. This is unconstitutional on every level. But they don't even think about it because they look at it as business. Well, look at all this money that we can make with big data, and they just sell it and resell it and package it, bundle it, and sell it like a subprime loan out to other kind of consultant groups. I mean, your data is so like processed, reprocessed, and put out there that the idea that you might have privacy in this country is absolutely ridiculous, and people don't care. Watch, look, I've seen the the numbers of viewers kind of like drop out by like 20 people. They don't care about their privacy. They don't care about their free speech. They just want to play video games. They just want to go to McDonald's. They just want to have a good time because ignorance is bliss, and I don't blame them. Because listen, life is short. You got to make the best of it. But I think for those of us that are past our that are past our early 20s. We kind of have a feeling that we want to pay it forward. We want to pay it forward. We want to make the world a better place, and that responsibility is now squarely on our shoulders. The old people are in retirement for the most part. They want to enjoy life. You don't blame them. The young people are trying to enjoy life. We're the middle-aged group, between the 20s and the 50s or so, that are just trying to, do what we can. So, it's tough, man. I think a lot of us would rather enjoy life and pretend like none of this is happening. I'll tell you what, for the past 3 days, I spent a little more time outside and was like, oh, I'm a civilian again, and I can just do whatever. I'll just hang out at the mall or whatever, and just kind of mess around. But it bothered me. The principle that they would silence your free speech in America bothers me. And maybe it's because I paid attention in civics class or paid attention, during social studies or history. Maybe that's why it bothers me, and the rest of people just kind of like slept through it. But for the people that took that stuff to heart, when they went to school and they believe in their country, they believe what it stands for, they like their national anthem, they like their flag, they like having said the Pledge of Allegiance. They wouldn't have pledged their allegiance to any other country. If that sounds like you, then you should be upset at what's happening to independent news outlets like STFN, even the doctor of common sense. They took his shit down. Richie Allen took his shit. They took his stuff down, and not because of what he said, because of what James Fetzer said, talking about the crisis actors. We've had Fetzer on before. He's a Minnesota boy, and I don't think he's in Minnesota anymore, but he's a Minnesota boy. And so, but Richie Allen's whole channel got taken down, not for what he said, but what for a guest said on the show. You know what I mean? Now the guests of the show, are a liability. And so it's just like, what's going on? Can't you talk? And that's the point. They don't want you to talk. They don't want you to express yourself. They want you to censor. And that's a defeating a self-defeating philosophy. If you start to self-censor and you hold back, then basically you're letting the dark side win. Because that's pushing against your First Amendment rights. I mean, you should be hugging those things like they mean something, because they do. And we take it for granted. We take the Constitution for granted. We take our country for granted because we're spoiled little brats. We've always had it. We never had to fight for it. And at least most of us. I know, we have some service members on the show right now, Rubber T, and I know other people that have been on the show and that listen to the show, have fought for their country. But I think, for the most of us out there, they didn't fight for their country, and so, they take it for granted. They take the freedoms for granted, and they're like, they don't care. They would wipe their ass with the Constitution because they don't care. They burn our flag, folks. I'm not even exaggerating, because they don't care. In fact, it's not that they just don't care. They actually hate our country because they hate what it stands for. They hate that it stands for Christianity. In God we trust. They hate the fact that we have freedoms that were based on justice, because these people are anti-Christian, folks. These people are of the dark side. They want chaos. They want tyranny. And it's exactly that. They want tyranny. They want the lies. That's what they want. And I think that people need to understand that that's what we're up against. And if you love your country, then you need to do everything you can to preserve those rights. And even if you think it's not a big deal that channels like ours are being taken down, it is a big deal because it becomes a slippery slope. And we're not the only channel. It'd be one thing if it was like just us. There's something that we said, we got a little angry, we went a little overboard, and we made a mistake, and they took us down and whatever. It'd be one thing if it was that. But they are doing this to so many channels right now, and for all the same stuff, which relates back to this Florida thing, which makes us think that this one blonde girl that was like, yeah, I was with the shooter, I heard shots coming from another place, there must have been two shooters, and then she was smiling. I think that was a trap. That was a psyop. They wanted people to jump on that way they could take everybody's stuff down. And I think that this was like the main objective of this Gladio B event, was this psyop to take out the independent media under the pretext that they were harassing the victims. Nobody's harassed the victims, but we have looked at the evidence critically and asked questions, which is something that should be allowed in a free country. Now, if what I am saying sounds irrational, then please, let us know in the comments. Asking questions is not allowed. Speaking the truth on your observations is not allowed. Even making a mistake is not allowed. You are a human. You are not allowed to make a mistake, and so you are banned. You know what I'm saying? So there's no real support for their censorship. It's unnecessary. It'd be a whole different thing if they could write you a letter or write you a comment, say, listen, tone it down, or we're gonna or say we're gonna just kind of just pull the video or something like that. But they go through this whole thing of harassing you, putting you in prison, and then when you get out of Facebook prison, they still don't let you go on live. I'm telling you, folks, we had to crash in through the back door. We're lucky to be on this broadcast right now. Save it, mirror all of our content. We've never put advertisement on it. It's fair use. That's the way the media works. There's a law out there that says fair use. You can use what you want out there. Mirror it, broadcast it. Let people know. And if you've got a radio voice, get out there. If you see something that pisses you off, do one of those confessionals and put it out there, because that stuff goes places, because it resonates with people. Because what you're thinking is not your imagination. People are thinking the exact same thing you are all around the country, but that's the kind of stuff that they want to listen to. They want to hear the truth. They want to see reality TV. That's what social media has become, the new reality TV. Remember when people used to tune into the Real World, and that was the whole new big thing, reality television. This is the new reality TV, is the live broadcasting on social media. And if somebody just happens to stumble on the wrong, a rat trail or rabbit hole, they want to take it down. They want to censor it, and that shouldn't be allowed. Censorship is probably a worse crime than just about anything in our judicial system. Because it's the very First Amendment to our Constitution. And in fact, those rights are supposed to be universal and protected in every state in our union. But it's not. Those 10 amendments, that Bill of Rights, or even the entire set of amendments, they're not being respected. They're not being respected. It's gone completely out of control, folks. And I wonder if Creepers is on. Creep Hunters, are you back yet? We got Creep Hunters on the line. I guess we're still waiting for Creep Hunters. But you are. Okay, sir. Tell us what your perspective. Again, Creep Hunters is out there snatching the pedos off the streets through some wicked software. He runs CHC Society, Creep Hunter Society in Canada, but they work in the U.S. as well. They can help you get involved in chasing the creepers out there. But tell us, what's going on in your neck of the woods? What do you think of the censorship? And tell us what you're feeling. We want to hear from you. Well, you would think so, yeah, but I guess we live in North Korea or we're in the gulag or something. I wish we could get more clarification on what our legal status is as servants in the U.S. corporation, because apparently that's what it is. From a technical point of view, it's a corporation, and they give us this serial number. They basically stamp this serial number on us, the social security number, and they're like, they actually trade bonds off of those securities or off of our social security number. That's why they call it a security. And they make money. I mean, they brand us like cattle, and they tax us all the way through life, and then they censor us, and they tell us where we can and can't go. It feels like the Matrix, man. I don't know about you, but I think it feels like the Matrix. Keep going, Creep Punchers. Tell us more about the injustice and the evil of the world.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, right now, I'm working on a couple of projects down in the USA. We've got a guy in, I believe he's in Portland, Oregon. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I haven't talked to him for a couple of days, but he's been setting some pretty nasty pictures of himself and asking for pictures of my decoy as well. He was getting pretty vulgar, and it was kind of hard to change the subject with him because he was just so on getting pictures from me that I actually have to ignore him for a couple of days, and hopefully when he messages back next, he'll calm down a little bit. Sometimes we gotta do that, where we have to ignore them for a bit and then continue chatting, just because we're not allowed to engage in any sexual conversations. So as soon as somebody starts to bring that type of content up, then we just have to try to change the subject and move forward from there.
But what does it feel like? What does it feel like when you actually get a rendezvous, and that creeper's coming in for to snatch a minor or something like that? I mean, what's that like, going to that confrontation? And do you ever web stream that stuff live? Because I've been seeing like some similar types of organizations that are actually live streaming the final encounter. Is that allowed in the U.S.? I think a lot of that stuff is coming from the U.K. Can they do that?
I mean, there's some groups here in Canada too that also do the live streaming. We don't, just because our privacy laws. The alleged predator could actually sue us, so it could actually backlash. Because there's such thing as due process, right? So we try to we're pretty strict on following those rules that we've learned through our dealings with law enforcement. So we don't actually publicly shame anybody. And right now we've got 38 or so cases in the last year and a half that have gone to law enforcement. So now we're just waiting for the Canadian justice system to actually to pull through for us. Our courts up here are super, super backlogged because of family courts, and minor parole violations seem to be backlogging our justice system in Canada, at least, pretty bad. So as far as actually going to meet the person, I mean, I used to get a lot of adrenaline from it, just because it's such a weird thing to do, right? But now it's just, when we're going to go and do a sting operation, it's just staying focused and making sure that the individual is showing up, and that we're able to give law enforcement our information in the way that they can use it. So the focus is really on that, because we've had guys that we've actually gone to the sting location with law enforcement without uniform. And they've delayed for an hour. Sometimes they don't even show up. Sometimes they show up and then they say, "Nice try, guys," and they leave. Right. So when we're actually doing the sting operations, it's really important for us just to stay focused on the task at hand and remember all the nasty conversations that we've had over the last couple of months to lead us to that point. Right. So that's pretty much what's going through my mind as the sting is going down. As far as the confrontation goes, we don't actually do the initial confrontation. So we don't actually approach the alleged predator ourselves. We'll do it with law enforcement if they invite us over to that area to meet with the individual. But a lot of the time, we show up there, and then law enforcement takes over from there. And then once the person is in cuffs in the back of the car, kind of thing, then we'll go over to law enforcement and give them our chatting device and so on.
Well, yeah, I mean that's an excellent rundown of the operation over there. It is fun fighting the tyranny and catching these predators, and you're making your community a better place. Because you'd be surprised how many sick, crazy fuckers are in your towns hunting little kids through Snapchat and Instagram and Foursquare and all the other stuff. They're using the technology to get the kids, and if you got kids and you don't know what they're up to, I mean, they may be talking to a creeper, and this would be another way that you can protect your kids. Now, you can reach out to Brendan at Creep Hunters. They help you out for free to become a creep hunter in your local community. They have the official back channels to law enforcement. It's free of charge as far as I know. They'll help you out every step of the way, and I think it's a worthwhile extra thing that you can do for your community. But we would remind everybody also to be part of the blockchain of revolution or renaissance in our country. Share, mirror content, make your own content, start a page and mirror and upload stuff there. Can be anywhere. You can use all of our stuff. Feel free to do so. Get what you like now, because it might be gone tomorrow. We're seeing unprecedented censorship across the board, and it's not just over here. It's everybody that's on the independent media side that talks about these kind of things. And so, that's basically it. There's the website just appearing in the chat, Stranger Than Fiction News. That's the new website. Be sure to bookmark that. Let's see if we can pin that up on top. I guess it doesn't let us right now, but be sure to bookmark that, because if this page goes dark, that's the only place that you're going to be able to get information from us as far as where we go to next. And they shut down the Twitch. We had to basically crash through the back door. You can't believe the shit we had to go through just to be able to broadcast live on our very own Facebook page. But nothing's free anymore in America, especially not free speech. And be sure to check out STFN Report. It's the new Drudge Report. It's kick-ass. We like it. We broadcast live right onto it when we're not shut down, so we'll see what happens in the coming days, if we can stay here or not, if this kind of thing keeps working out. But as for me, myself, I can't actually log on and broadcast live. I actually have to go through proxies. Basically, we're doing FTP bouncing shit around the world to get in through the back door. You can't even imagine. So there's no telling when we'll be back live, but you should be able to get some updates for the time being on this Facebook feed as well as the website. But bookmark that website and check up on us, every so often, because if this page goes dark, they will not send you a notification. They will not tell you that they've censored us once again. And we're one of the most I think respected shows out there in independent media, and we make a huge difference. And we don't put our face out on the camera. We don't sell advertisement. We don't sell you fucking toothpaste. We're not in it for the money. We're not in it for the glory. We're in it to make this world a better place, to make our country free again, make America free again. We need a new 9/11 investigation. We need to go back to the pre-9/11 world. Forget this, New World, Gestapo, Stasi, 1984 reality that we're in right now, because it's not normal. And as far as the other, media outlets, controlled opposition or not, everybody's got their own opinions. But I think, right now, we all need to stick together and fight the censorship, and we can quibble about who's the better truther later. Let's all just kind of step up together to the plate and hit a home run for the winning team and make America free again. Hillary for prison, 2018, folks. Comey for prison. Obama for prison. We need real investigations. You notice what happened after this Florida thing? We're not talking about Comey, the memos, the illegal wiretapping, the cover-up, the planting of the evidence. Listen, these are huge crimes that need to be reinvestigated, and I hope that Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson continue on that on that quest of justice in that matter. In any case, folks, I think I'm going to leave closing arguments for the guests of this broadcast, and we're going to wrap this up. Please do like and share. I do appreciate everybody sharing this. I mean, when we started the broadcast not that long ago, there was like 20 shares. I'm like, how can this be? There's 300 people watching, and now the shares have gone up to nearly 1,000. So way to go, everybody. And that's part of the strategy. But sharing isn't enough because they shadow ban. So you basically have to put it in groups and start your own page and at least reach like 100, 200 people a day. If every patriot in this country reached 100 or 200 people a day, that would be like, tens and hundreds of millions of people every day. And it's starting to happen. I mean, we're seeing stuff come through the feed. This guy that comes out of nowhere, 10 million views. Another guy comes out of nowhere, 15 million views. It can happen to you. You too could be on reality TV. If you see something, say something. You see the chemtrails, you see the GMOs, you see the toxic shit in your food, say something about it. You see an injustice in your area, say something about it. Put it out there. Send it our way. We'll like and share it. We'll put it everywhere we can. It'll be on the new website, STFNreport.com. Hillary for prison. I want to thank all the regulars that keep sending us messages, that support this broadcast, that show up time after time, that follow the circus around the internet to hear this broadcast. It's like no other, and it's the most, it's the most hated show by the libtards. I guarantee it, because we're telling it the way it is. Take no prisoners, and never surrender. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance. Now, I'm gonna let Rubber T give us some closing words, closing arguments. Tell us where we can find you. He'll be showing up regularly on the broadcast, and we're going to be developing all sorts of new shows. So stay tuned. Watch out for that. And Rubber T will try and get you perhaps a more magnificent handle, but for the time being, it is what it is. Let us know what's going on. Where are people going to find you?
All right, man. Well, I'll keep it short since you guys are going to be hearing from me more, but you can find me at Where We're Being Ruled by a Cult of Death. And, I'm going to start some live broadcasts tomorrow. May not be as well spoken as Ron over here, but, we gotta start somewhere. So, just much love to everyone out there. I mean, that's what it's all about. We gotta use this information to strengthen ourselves instead of letting it get us down and keeping us depressed and stuff. This should be pissing you off to the point where you're ready to stand up and do something about it. So that's where I'm coming from. And just final words are: will you make a difference or just fill a grave?
Yeah, exactly. You're either going to be a victim or a survivor. And Sue was asking, where's Ron? I love his voice. I don't know why people love my voice. I mean, I try not to talk to myself because I don't necessarily like my voice, but I'm glad other people like my voice. I appreciate that. Much love to everybody out there. Thanks, Rubber T, for showing up, and you'll be back soon. And Creep Hunters, tell us where people can find you. Tell us about the free program, the Hunt Creeps in their local areas. Tell us more.
Well, we got a Facebook page. I think you were going to share it later on tonight there. It's just Creep Hunters Canada Society on Facebook, or you can go to chcsociety.com, and you can click up on the right-hand top corner there to join the group. And we appreciate everybody's support. One thing that we do need right now, if people are interested in doing a little bit more for our group and contributing wise, is we're getting pretty low on cell phones. So if you go onto our website, chcsociety.com, and click donate, you can fill out your information and send your old cell phone in to us so we can catch a creep on it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, if you've got an old phone just sitting there doing nothing, put it to good use, and then donate it to Creep Hunters. And, it's out there to catch the creeps. I mean, when he told me that he would drive around for 8 hours, just leaving the Snapchat on a decoy phone, and he would get, like, what was it, hundreds of messages? How many messages after an 8-hour run in a big city?
Oh yeah, a couple hundred at least.
And like nude pictures of gonads and stuff to little kids.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, folks. I mean, everybody can do something, and if everybody just participated, they snagged one creep a year. If everybody did that, I mean, there would be so many less libtards in our country. We would definitely make America free again. But we need a new 9/11 investigation. We need Hillary for prison. I appreciate everybody tuning in to this exceptional broadcast that we had to basically hack into our own page. Can't even tell you. It's just unnecessary and unprecedented, and it's mind-boggling in America. If we lived in the Gulag or in Stasi Germany, East Germany back in the day, I guess I would understand. But this is unbelievable. And so don't take this show for granted. Bookmark our new website, stfnreport.com. I appreciate everybody tuning in once again. Much love to everyone out there. Keep your head high, and we'll see you next time, wherever that may be. And, of course, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.